Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from SwimCycleRunCoach. Well, some of you will have noticed that I'm standing up this week, and there's a very good reason for it, and that reason is I'm here to describe something that's the bane of the swim coach's life, and that is the people who come into our club who have poor stroke mechanics that we have to continually correct before we can get them swimming at a reasonable standard. And the one I'm dealing with today is the hand-centric swimmer. Hand-centric is a term that I've coined for a swimmer who thinks that they have to get their hand forward as quickly as possible. Now you can see what I've done there. I've shoved my hand forward. You can see what's happened to my body. It's instantly gone into a curve. And I've got all those muscles, all these muscles, all these muscles, and my neck muscles activated to do that. Now the recovery in swimming should be a relaxed affair, where the only muscles really that you're using are the lats and the deltoids across the top. If that's the case, then everything is in sequence and you're relaxed and you're ready for a really good catch. Unfortunately, the majority of swim teachers teach this, and that naturally leads to real poor problems in swimming. A lot of crossover and a lot of bending and weaving down the pool. It's something we have to correct time and time again. I'll come on to some other things in a few weeks. Let's go to the computer and I'll show you exactly what I mean with a swimmer who's at a reasonable standard, but still we need time and again to try and correct this problem that's inbuilt into her muscle memory.
Okay, so here we're looking at Rachel, a swimmer at Hartsmere, and she's a very good example of hand-centric swimming. It's not her fault, it's what she's been taught to do by her swim teacher. So forward comes the hand, and you can see there's a huge emphasis on bringing that hand forward. You can see how far ahead of her elbow it is at that point. At that point, the hand and the elbow and the shoulder should all be aligned effectively, down there. Instead, the hand's forward, and what we have is we already have a start, because she's using so many muscles. We've already got a start of a bow in the body. She's using these muscles here, she's using the neck muscles, she's using the forearm muscles. They shouldn't be used in the recovery position in front crawl. And you can see there she's overshot the middle of her body. Draw a straight line down. And what she's done effectively is set up a complete curve, which is a shape we really don't want to see in swimming. The other arm, again, it's very much focused. You can see the speed of that hand coming forward. The hand's got to come forward. Now by this point, Rachel should have finished breathing and her head should be turning back into the water. But because we've this lead hand, which you can see here, has disappeared from the surface, you can see that, she's set up an imbalance in her stroke. And you can see this knee coming forward. Now that knee is now pushing back against the water. It's actually creating more resistance than she needs. We don't really want to see that. What we want to see is an arm brought forward using the shoulder muscles there. Okay, once again, crosses the centre line instead of having a straight arm. And bang, we're again looking to the side and having that curved position in the spine, which is something we don't want. One thing that often happens with a swimmer who's hand-centric is they tend to drop their elbow, and we have an absolute perfect example of a high elbow catch versus a low elbow catch in this video. Now if we look at the swimmer on the right, that's a high elbow catch. You can see that that is a high elbow. And if we look at Rachel here, she's thrown her arm in, and this is a low elbow catch. You can see that the elbow is completely dropped, and that's the position effectively that she's holding the water. If we look at the swimmer in the next lane, that's the position he's grabbing the water, and if you look at Rachel, that's the position she's grabbing the water. Much later, a much less effective swim. And the other arm, again, straight down, that's where they're catching. Look at, again, the swimmer in the other lane. high elbow catch, excellent position, low elbow catch, haven't really caught the water right until there. It's another lesson for hand-centric swimmers. You've got to keep that arm on the surface at the front of your stroke until your other arm passes your shoulder.
So I think there you saw the perfect example of the hand-centric swimmer bringing that arm over and forcing the body into that curve. If you do it yourself, you'll do exactly the same thing. You will curve your body as you do that. Every single time you do that, you can't help but engage more muscles than you need to in the recovery phase. It's exactly the same in things like butterfly, where swimmers come over like that, whereas they should be relaxing to come over like that. And it means that they have to raise their body higher and higher and higher to get these arms out the water, as opposed to like this, where the arms can actually come out the water fairly easily. It's a problem we have to deal with time and time again. So if you're a hand-centric swimmer, start thinking about relaxing, making sure that your elbow, arm, and elbow, shoulder and hand are all in alignment as they pass the shoulder, and the other arm is on the surface of the water. Let yourself have time to make a good catch. Don't rush it. Okay, that's all for this week. See you next week. It's Christmas. I'll speak to you after Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas. Enjoy yourselves. See you then.